once again that our church, the Christ Apostolic Church, is a very unique church. Unique in every respect of it. In the sense that it is the first and indigenous Pentecostal church in Nigeria. There is no way you want to honestly write the history of Pentecostal revival in that part of the world without making mention of our church. Even it's more than that. If you want to write the history of how Pentecostal revival broke out in Nigeria, you need to devote a very large chunk of the work to the Christ Apostolic Church. Because that's the church that the Lord himself planted through the efforts of our forebears. And the church had made giant stride by reaching out to some countries of this world, Ghana and some other neighboring countries in Nigeria, and then overseas. As the continent, Europe Continent Secretary, Pastor Oladele, did say when he was making an introduction this morning or this afternoon, when we came here as students some 39 years ago, we met only one assembly of the Christ Apostolic Church. And we joined that church, and but we discovered that some members of the Christ Apostolic Church that were living in London then were not attending. They scattered everywhere, and most of them were going to the Apostolic Church then in Vauxhall, in the city of London. Then on the 4th of November 1979, 9 of us came together and started what has come to be known today as the CAC headquarters in Great Britain, CAC Seven Sisters, to the glory of God. And as the secretary said, we thank God because the little seed that was sown way back in 1979 has germinated and blossomed and grown to this proportion. Today we're talking of so many branches of our church here in Great Britain and America, even in Australia and some other parts of the world. I want to thank you very tremendously for associating yourself with the church. There are people today who do not see anything good in our church, but when they talk, you know that they're only exhibiting their own ignorance. Great names in evangelism in Nigeria, the likes of Papa Adeboye, Pastor Kumoyi, Pastor Edepo, Lukoya. Lukoya was one of us, a member of the Light of the World Society, which is the evangelical militant arm of the church. Militant not in the sense of carrying about guns, but going about to win souls for the Lord. They speak well of this church because they know something about the history of the church. And when you look at the tenets of the church, you cannot but agree with us that we have one of the finest tenets you can ever see in any church anywhere in the world. So we want to thank you for associating yourself with this church, for not running away. Sometimes you read of some of the untoward things that are happening in the church and what some other people are doing. I want to say that that's not what the church is all about. Our church is about revival, it's about holiness, it's about righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Ghost. And you have no reason to go out of this church. When the president of our country now, when he was military head of state, when he took over the reign of government way back in 1983, in his inaugural speech, he said, "We have no other country but Nigeria, and we're going to stay here together, and we're going to stay here and salvage it together." I remember him saying that in his maiden speech to the nation then. So we have no other church. We don't preach denomination. We belong to a denomination, although we are not denominationalized, but we do belong to a denomination. And Christ Apostolic Church is our own denomination. And we say that without any regrets. So once again, we want to thank you for holding the banner of truth and for holding forth for the Christ Apostolic Church in the Midlands. We are grateful to the pastor for the vision the Lord has laid upon his heart and for carrying out that vision. And we just felt, well, that such efforts need to be rewarded and encouraged in a way. That's the reason why it has been decided by the president and approved that we should grant you a zonal status. And that's what we are doing today by God's grace.